Hey guys, DCX here, and I've finally put together the build guide and video for my VEX build that I've been running on stream. I've also posted a few small clips of it to Reddit. If you've been in my stream in the last 7 days, you would have seen me putting this together and playing it. But this is it. Here it is. I'll showcase a few clips at the start, and then we'll get into it. I will also say that all these clips that you see are done on UVH5. Nothing else, all UVH5, so you can really see the impact of the build in action. All right, let's go. Now, what's important in this skill tree is that we want to make sure that we get kill skills, okay? So we'll grab grave sights for critical hit damage and grave implements for gun damage. We will also grab grave power because this increases the max stacks we get on our kill skills. And we're going to activate these without needing to kill enemies. So we'll grab target pre-signs, which gives us critical hit chance against any part of enemies, and we will combine that with Mortal Terror, which gives us a chance to activate kill skills when critically hitting enemies. So these two combined give us a small chance to activate the damage bonuses of grave sights and grave implements, and they are enhanced with grave power because that increases max stacks. We'll also grab Drink Full because that increases our fire rate, and the more we fire, the more likely we are to crit, the more likely we are to activate kill skills. We'll grab Grave Vitality, which is another kill skill, which will benefit from everything else that we put points into. And that's just for health capacity and health regeneration, and that will allow us to get Essence Leech, which gives us 10% lifesteal or 20% lifesteal when our action skill is active. And from there, that allows us to put 3 points into Blood is Power, which is super important. So Blood is Power gives us bonus kinetic damage with guns based on current lifesteal when our health is full. Now, this is really important because the Oh My God, the weapon that this build is based around, deals elemental shock damage, which is fine until you come up against an elemental eater. Having Blood is Power, having 3 out of 3 Blood is Power, allows us to still eliminate elemental eaters. It doesn't matter. I'll put a clip in now so that you can see elemental eaters are not a problem. The shock damage that we do will heal them, but we will deal so much kinetic damage that it will outdeal the healing that we do to elemental eaters. Now, the other reason that we put our points into target pre-science and Mortal Terror is not just because we can keep those kill skills up. It's because they're really important for bossing, right? When we're bossing, we aren't killing mobs, generally speaking. We're trying to kill the boss as fast as possible. So there are either no mobs to kill or we are ignoring mobs. In which case, target pre-science gives us a 15% chance to crit anywhere on the boss. And then we have a 5% chance on those crits to activate our kill skills, which increases our damage. Now, I'll get to it shortly, but we are going to have such an obscene amount of fire rate that these will be proccing very, very quickly. And we will be at max stacked very, very quickly. Okay, let's move on to the inventory so you can see all the gear that makes this work. We'll start with the most important part, which is the legendary Team Witch class mod. When Vex has maximum health, her lifesteal partially applies to shields. When Vex has maximum shield, her lifesteal partially grants overshield. So what this means is all the damage she does will not only heal through her health, it will also then heal through her shield and then also heal into overshield. And that allows us to have 100% uptime on the energy transfer perk of the Oh My God. When Energy Shield is active, grants 50% damage by consuming the shield's energy instead of ammo. When Overshield is also active, Energy Shield will not deplete. So while we have Overshield, we never lose Energy Shield, we never run out of ammo, and we have 50% damage. And this Ohm I've got has also got Ripper. When this happened, when this dropped for me, my first thought was, okay, this changes things a bit. What can I do with Ripper that can enhance the capabilities of this gun and this build? So I went to my vault to see what legendary enhancements I had, and I had this one. This one came with Head Charger. Guns with Ripper licensed parts gain 25% damage, but charge time is increased by 30%. This is fine because we only need to charge up once. And from there, we just indefinitely hold the trigger down until all the enemies are dead or the boss is dead. So a 30% charge time for 25% damage is totally fine. We only need to do it once. The other part, which is huge, is Short Circuit. After reloading an empty magazine, guns with Ripper licensed parts have a 30% chance to increase the next magazine's fire rate by 100%. So before, when I was talking about having a huge amount of fire rate, this is what I was talking about. This gives us huge amounts of sustain because we are firing so often. It allows us to proc critical hits constantly because we are firing so often, and therefore we are proccing Mortal Terror, which is activating our kill skills all the time. We have so much uptime on all our kill skills, even when we are dealing with bosses and not actually killing enemies, because we fire so fast. You can also see that I'm running with a Destructo Disco. I'm not running a crit knife, and there's an important reason for this, and that is because this grenade will deal shock damage. It will kind of like spin around and move in like the direction you aim, and it will deal area shock damage. This is important because the Oh My God will actually chain damage to a nearby enemy if they are also affected by shock damage. The gun doesn't tell you this. It took me days to work out that this happens at all because the gun does not tell you. I will put a clip in of me against the training dummies so you can see this happening. But the damage will chain to a nearby enemy if they are also affected by shock damage. I run the What's for Dinner Shield, which is, you know, anyone familiar with how the base of this build works will understand that we run this. While Energy Shield is active, enemies have a 12% chance to drop an Overshield when hit. W. When Overshield is also active, grants 25% shock damage. More shock damage. The one I have here also rolled with Amp, so I drain 20% of my shields for 50% gun damage. But between this legendary enhancement and our kill skills being stacked, we still have so much life steal and sustain that the draining of those shields isn't a problem. As for rep kits, I run with the large kill spring for mobbing, and that's because when I kill an enemy, the excess damage done to that enemy will then heal me through healing orbs, and that will also apply to Overshield. So that's another way for me to gain Overshield. It might be overkill, but it works really well for mobbing. I haven't had an issue with it. I would recommend having a Blood Siphon. And this one obviously has Leech, which is more lifesteal, which gives us more sustain, which gives us more damage through Blood is Power by dealing kinetic damage. As for firmware, I run 3 out of 3 Deadeye because, you know, we are firing so fast, we are critting so often that it makes sense to have crit damage. And we also run 2 out of 3 High Caliber. Now, I have tested so many different firmware versions. I have tested Tricky. I have tested Lifeblood. I have tested Rubber Band Man. And for whatever reason, High Caliber seems to be the winner in terms of damage output. I suspect it's because Oh My God is affected by projectile speed. The difference is quite substantial. So my recommendation is 3 out of 3 Deadeye and 2 out of 3 high caliber. Now, if we move on to specializations, this is pretty much up to you how you want to do it. I do have 90 points on VEX, so you can see I've played a lot of her. If I was just starting out, I would put 20 points into Survivor, and that's because we generally always have full health and full shields. It's our overshield that can fluctuate. With that in mind, Bullets Are Scared of Me will give us 30% damage reduction when our shield or our health is full, and that should always be the case. And then the Best Defense also gives us 30% damage when our shield or health is full, which again, should always be the case. You do want to put 20 points into Brute so you can get Riddle You This. You gain gun damage for doing gun damage. That one is a no-brainer. You'll have to put 10 points into Sharpshooter so that you can start putting points into Killer, which increases critical hit damage and status effect damage. But ultimately, specializations are going to be up to you and what you want to do and what you feel works best for you. There's no real winner here. This is just what I've gone with. And I think that's going to do it, guys. I think I've covered everything. Again, the big thing is that we run Target Prescience with Mortal Terror with an incredibly fast fire rate. We also make sure that we get Essence Leech and Blood is Power so that we can deal kinetic damage in addition to our shock damage so that we can deal with Elemental Eaters. The tricky part of this build is making sure that you can get a legendary Ripper enhancement with at least Short Circuit. I wouldn't say it's necessary, but it makes a significant difference to the build. Combination of all this is literally 1 million damage a second. Yeah, it's a million DPS. With all this running, it's a million DPS without a crit knife. I haven't it's the most fun. It's the build that I run. You might have some trouble with flying enemies, but otherwise, this build is going to crush everything. As for Iridium.com, there will be some updates later this week. I don't want to say exactly what they are yet, in case I can't get them out on time, but specializations and loadouts should be good to go, and I am hopeful that you will be able to highlight skills in skill trees by keywords. But yeah, that's it, guys. If you don't really know who I am the creator of Iridium.com. I have been streaming Borderlands 4 nearly every day since it came out. And I've spent a lot of my time playing VEX and theory crafting this build. So if you have any questions, you can catch me on Twitch or streaming on YouTube, or you can leave a comment below. If you like this video, you found it helpful, you want to try this build, I would appreciate a like and subscribe. Yep, that's it. Hope you all have a great week, and I'll leave some more clips of this build in action for you to watch, and I will catch you guys later.